go ahead and return to game. We're on expert difficulty. We're playing the laser wizard, laser sorceress, whatever you want to call it. It's Diablo 3. It's easy mode. Let's go ahead and resume game. And I think we might end up hitting max level by the end of this, at the rate we're going, at least. Unless we starting really slowing down on our leveling up. By the way, hello, Hugin. How you doing? Hopefully you're doing well. Okay. Hi, Tyrael.
The keep's defenses cannot hold. Its soldiers are scattered, fleeing before Azmodan's onslaught, which rushes forth from Ariat Crater. Should the keep fall, Azmodan will claim the Black Soul Stone. If he does, there will be no hope for this world.
Hey, Bells. How's it going? Belazarius.
Light the signal fires, and show these soldiers that we are not yet defeated. Salvation has arrived. Go, you are needed below.
Act 3, the act that made you realize your enjoyment of Diablo 3 was going to be short-lived. I mean, Diablo 3 didn't really impress me too much on a lot of fronts, but it's not a terrible game. I mean, I've played worse action RPGs, without a doubt.
The Black Soulstone's getting hotter, straining against me. They're whispering to me from inside.
The demons within seek escape. Only your power can keep it from splitting apart, my daughter. It's a heavy burden, but the fate of the world lies in your hands.
Yes, Leah can handle this, although it will be very hard on her.
I'm doing pretty good. And hi, Sassy McGee. I love your name. You're like choice number 3 for mercenary names. Game was good, but you hated the itemization. Yeah, I agree with that one. It's not, but the constant stop for plot heads popping up to reveal that narrative. Oh, the exposition dips. Oh, those are horrible in any game. There's way too many games that are just all exposition. It's like, put this in the world so I can experience it. Hey, Jesse. Hello, everyone.
Let the call sound forth. Bastion's keep shall not fall.
Okay, do we need to actually do any... no, we don't need to do any inventory management or anything like that. I forget what that is. Blood shards. Oh, greater rifts. I don't care about greater rifts. We don't bother with those. Okay, so let's see if I actually remember how to play after, you know, how long it's been since we played. Now that we have our meteor love,
I don't have enough arcane power.
we can actually get quite a bit done. Oh, we need to cast those out as well. But for the most part, I'm just looking to chill today, get through Act 3. Maybe we'll get a little bit further. I don't know yet. Possibly beat the game? No, we're probably not going to do that today. I do need to start thinking about what other action RPGs we want to cover, though. Because there are a few pretty good ones out there, and there's also some really crappy ones that I kind of want to cover as well. Just because I want to do videos on them. I'm not going to do like a search for the best action RPG ever, because that's really subjective. There's really not a best one. There's a best one for each person. Just get to Rift 100. Honestly, not. That doesn't even interest me that much. I like going through the stories and experiencing the different builds I can do from level 1 to whatever. Getting up to like billions of damage for what? The ability to get more damage doesn't really do much for me, sadly. I understand the appeal. I have played cookie clickers before. I have played plenty... Oh, Messenger of Azmodan.
Minions, Bastion's keep has nearly fallen. Many of you have already gorged yourselves on blood and man-flesh. But do not let your feasting delay you. I would have the keep and its commander in my possession before the next dawn. The rest of this world will fall soon after.
Will it now?
You're a welcome sight, hero.
Hopefully I didn't miss a unfortunate beacon back there. I can go back and check, but I don't think I did. I'll double check, though. Just to be on the safe side. I don't think so. We might have one right there that I missed. That's what I'm slightly worried about, because I don't want to have to walk back this entire thing. Yeah, exposition dumps are a problem in a lot of more story-driven ones of action RPGs, but at the same time, some of those are actually pretty good stories. Like Shadows, I am frankly pretty interested in. It's... Oh, no, we don't have one here. I had to double check, because I don't remember. It has literally been years since I played through the story. So, deal with it. I say that. I actually played through part of the story with Gablin since then, but... Frankly, as far as like the actual story and gameplay stuff, that's stayed pretty fresh in my mind. Funnily enough. It's just the actual locations of the quests that just kind of blur all together like an MMO. As far as you know, the Signal Beacon's path is very linear. Yeah. I mean, I can see that. It's just, it's off on these little, like, side things. And I have literally missed things that should have been super easy in other games just because I like wandering around, and I'll sometimes wander the weird way around and miss it entirely. So it kind of bites me in the ass. One thing that, oddly enough, entertains me a little bit, but it shouldn't make me laugh inside so much, because it's kind of actually sad, is just how many people get, like, really upset that I say that Diablo 3 is not that bad of a game. It's just not a good Diablo game. It's one of those things where people get really protective of their opinions on it. It's a sad thing that happens with Final Fantasy a lot as well, where people are like, oh, 15 sucks. It's not like the old ones. Of course it's not like the old ones. It's made for modern gaming kind of conventions, and it's made for a different audience. I like the old ones better than the new ones, but I can see why people like the new ones. It's more action-y, it's quicker reward situations and stuff like that. It's just not my thing. Exposition just felt extra silly to you since at D1, D2, none of the demons know who you are or care. True. So you're attacking them, here their head pops up and they talk to you constantly. They're talking to, what's-her-face, the, trying to think of how to describe her without spoiling it because I can't remember her name. The kid, the child of the above. Are you coming up here? No? Okay. I don't want to, in case someone's watching who hasn't played before, I don't want to spoil what's going to happen. We will be learning soon enough. Yeah, their little thing is very much like the cornerstone of what we hear, and then like after that, we start becoming the focus of it.
I need arcane power.
We need arcane power. We have all the regen in the world for arcane power. You're fine. There is number 4.
Not ready yet.
I love how my mirror images will actually drop meteors as well. Makes me happy on the inside.
Those bastards didn't stand a chance.
But I understand why people like some things and others. And weirdly enough, the video that just released yesterday about which Diablo should you play first got a lot of like early dislikes, believe it or not. And then a bunch of likes after that kind of balanced it out. It got as low as about 70% like to dislike ratio, which is terrible for the channel. That is like one of the worst ones since the video about Path of Exile. And even that one was only like 70% after everything was said and done. Because, yes, Path of Exile are just as defensive of their game as really hyperactive Diablo fans. This is coming from someone who has played Diablo 2 for decades.
What in the burning hells is that?
Fallen Mongrel.
Still waiting.
What in the burning hells is that? Dead. That's what it is. I just don't like these lasers with the little fence things. Whenever they're imprisoning me, I can rot in hell.
You're a welcome sight, hero.
And as much as I joke about it in that video, Immortal does have a place. It really is. It's actually really good for a toilet game. I know that sounds like diminishing of it, but
Thrash as you might, you will not keep me from the Soul Stone.
just don't go into it wanting to spend money, otherwise you'll be robbed blind. Yep, head pop up.
What the hells was that?
That was Asmodeon.
We've seen the fires you've lit. Fear has no more hold on us. The catapults could break Asmodan's lines, but we can't raise them from their berths while demons swarm over the walls.
Don't worry. I'll make sure the catapults are raised. The demons will truly feel fear.
Will they feel fear, or will they just feel a meteor on their head? Because they do just keep coming. They aren't like running away from me or intimidated by my presence. They are just murdered by my presence.
Thank the heavens you're here. We're down to 4 lads until reinforcements arrive. Trouble is, the lift stopped. We can't see what went wrong through all the muck down there.
This sounds ominous.
Oh, what now?
And yeah, having
The roots from below, Captain.
it has a better story
What do
than
we
a
do?
lot of.
Private, if you need to be told which end of the sword goes where, you haven't been paying attention.
End of the sword goes
On
are
to your
cute.
last breath, lads!
But yeah, for mobile games, it actually had a good story. Compared to the rest of Diablos, it was a little bit stilted, but I mean, what do you expect? It's literally meant to be enjoyed in like 20-30 minute gaps, not in these marathon 20-hour-long
The
sessions.
lift is moving again. Hold steady.
Are you guys still alive over here? There we go.
Demons! Get ready, men!
I don't have enough arcane power.
Victory!
You are celebrating
fallen
victory
without
really
your
soon,
aid.
young man.
It was an honor to fight at your side.
I am
Yeah.
only glad we made
I'll
it.
probably make some more build videos in the very near future because I've done too many opinion pieces lately, and it's actually showing. But I will be having a review for Chained Echoes coming up soon. Probably going to do a couple other reviews too, possibly one on Space Empires 4 of all things. If that had a good online component, I would totally do that with viewers. Just have a massive game with like everybody who has it. Yes, all the pop-ups to spend money were irritating as shit. It's the only thing worse than just an hour of exposition and cinematics. But still. Murder them with meteors. Can you not
Need more
be a
arcane
jerk?
power.
Nope. I just love how easy the bosses are on frickin' expert. But yeah, monetization in it is predatory, but monetization in most games as a service and mobile games are just by their nature predatory in different ways. Games as a service generally have to go a bit more subtle but equally nefarious compared to the just pay to win kind of crap that you can get away with on mobile. But they both appeal to just very basic psychological tricks. We covered this in another stream, but it's one of those things that, I mean, it shouldn't bother me as much as it does, but because I know how the tricks work, I pick them up a lot more, so it bothers me a lot. It doesn't just sit there as, oh, this is a cool cape kind of thing for me, which in some cases it is just literally, this is a cool cape. But I can't live on that one. Hi, friend.
You must be the one that lit the signal fires. Help me free the recruits so they can raise this catapult. Over here.
Free the recruits. Hey, Incarnation, how's it going? Hope you're having a good Friday as well.
Excellent. Let's protect the recruits while they raise the catapult.
I like how they have to come out one at a time to raise the catapult. guys gonna actually attack while we're doing this? There we go.
I need arcane power.
The last catapult is going to be funny? Possibly. More rejection emails? I'm sorry to hear that. Hopefully your luck improves. They don't realize what they're missing out on. It's actually really hard to get jobs in the tech industry right now. Unless you are like a Rockstar dev or something like that. Which is kind of sad. Because Rockstar devs are not always the thing you want. It's just the ones that get the most attention. Speaking of Rockstar devs, they're one of the reasons why it took so long to get that thing set up. The actual thing I was going to use went behind a nasty paywall, and he still doesn't want to provide support for it, so I'm like, fuck it.
The catapult is raised.
They'll get roasted by a soldier.
Run in no time.
Well, there's one of them done. The soldiers, they're just kind of incompetent. Don't want to stand in the middle of that. That will destroy us. Because while I am not taking damage from like normal enemies, those exploding things hurt like a bitch. Okay, so our next one is up here. But yeah, I don't think I would want to be in the tech industry these days. Jeez. Especially with like Google and stuff like that, and how much they ended up like firing people recently. I still find it ridiculous that they fired like massage people. Like you had those on payroll and you were firing your developers. The hell? Yeah. I mean, the tech industry would be worse. It would be better than what I have to go into if I go back to normal jobs.
The platform will rise more quickly if we don't lose men.
Okay, catapult level. Come on, you guys.
I don't have enough arcane power.
Just dropping meteors on the guys that are just dropping little friends off. They're dropping little friends at the pool.
Not ready yet.
Oh, there's a guy over here dropping him in. Okay. I didn't even see that. Otherwise, you can't find a satisfying enough job to work. Yeah.
They'll regret ever showing their ugly face.
Unfortunately, I would have to go back to service industry. Because that's what I have the most experience on. I don't actually dislike the service industries. I dislike the way the service industries are treated. And it's not even by the customers that bothers me. It's literally the, like, companies more than anything.
Minions. The imbecile who slew my
Need more
brother
arcane
Belial
power.
now means to aid the keep's beleaguered soldiers.
Need more time.
She brings a girl with her who could undo us all. But I am not Belial. He was weak and cowered behind his disguises. Of course they failed him. We will seize our victory through bloodshed.
The Crusaders.
But yeah. Am I looking forward to the Diablo 4 beta? Looking forward is a strong word. Interested, yes.
I don't have enough arcane
Tentatively interested, yes. Looking forward to depends on how they do it. Because I know that's a real cynical way to look at it, but I don't trust a company further than I can throw them and how strong the contract is with them. And why is my connection dying all of a sudden?
Leave my post. Make yourself
Stop it.
useful and spin that winch.
Spin the winch? Okay. This is not what I anticipated doing this weekend, but hey, I'll spin the winch. Let my clones handle it for a minute. When in doubt, let the clone called in the clones. Oh, I can just click on it and it'll keep going for a while. Okay. I don't know why I was thinking I had to sit there and like babysit it. I can cast stuff and then click on it whenever it starts flashing again.
I didn't think I could get any better.
There we go. But yeah, Diablo 4, I think it'll be a fine game.
Believe you're making me do this on my own.
Stay calm. We will aid you when we are ready.
There. It's like the last little bit. You couldn't pull it up the last little bit? Sure. But yeah, we'll be covering it on the early access one as well, the early access beta.
Do me a favor, and don't mention that I shouted at you a little, all right?
I won't mention it. Just stand still. Okay, we need to turn to Bastion's Keep. But yeah, I'll probably do either a rogue or I think probably a rogue on the first one.
Catapults once they've claimed.
Asmodan's demons have opened an enormous hole in our walls and are flooding into the depths. If it is not closed, the keep will be overrun with demons.
Their corpses should serve to seal the breach after I've killed them all.
Groovy. But
I bring word from the King of Westmarch.
Yeah, let's see if we have anything good. I don't think we do.
My lord says he will send no living men to battle imaginary demon lords.
Nothing too amazing there. We are happier with our unique. I think I prefer our current amulet, just barely. As far as this goes, though, we might swap that out. Because it's a decent amount of intelligence, but the life regen on what we have in resist are kind of nice as well. It keeps us alive. So let's go ahead and salvage all of our nonsense. Bong. Bong. We look kind of creepy, but doesn't matter. But yeah, we'll do a rogue on the closed beta because it will only let us do... Oh yeah, you totally need to be to arms. But rogue on that one because they won't have the necromancer available. But whenever we get to the open beta, I'll 100% be doing necromancer. I'll be going for that level 20 thing. We'll see. I do want to try each of the classes at some point. That's... Getting 1 to 20 is probably the higher priority, so we can have the cool little, like, dog backpack, which I kind of wish they had different animals for it, but that's fine. Yay.
I have been fortunate enough to learn much of the barbarians' complicated history in my time. Yet the origins of these large, mighty warriors are hazy at best. Legend holds that they are the offspring of Bull Kathos, an ancient who embodied their ideals of strength, bravery, and courage.
Oh, I'm perfectly fine with it being a wolf. It's just, I think it'd be nice to have some other flavors. Because, believe it or not, I'm more of a cat person, mainly because they take care of themselves for the most part. You just got to make sure they got food, water, and attention. Worst they'll do is caterwaul at you whenever they want something.
Fuel inside. Perhaps we can use them against our foes?
Whereas dogs will bark at everything, which makes recording a royal nightmare. I prefer them about equally whenever I'm working on art stuff, though. Which, speaking of which, I'm still on the fence. I might try doing like an avatar or something like that for talking head videos. Which, yes, is just a VTuber with different steps. I find it hilarious that people kind of try and separate those, but the reality is they're the same thing. It really is just the same thing. Because you're just using a cartoon avatar to basically be your representation. Let's see. What shield did we get? Lidless Wall. That's familiar. Cold skills deal 11% more damage. I mean, we could go get one of our wands and put that in it. I'm going to keep that. Just, if nothing else, for nostalgia's sake. While Diablo 2 is still your favorite game of the series, Diablo 3 makes combat feel so visceral. Honestly, my favorite combat is Torchlight 1. I know that's very strange to say, but Torchlight 1 just felt so much more meaty to me. Whereas this feels more like Path of Exile, but not quite as hectic. Where it's just, you are... The attacks are cool, and they're flashy, but they don't carry as much weight. Yeah, Torchlight, whenever you hit something with, like, a hammer as the... I forget the name of the warrior class. You could see it impact them. Whereas this, like, I dropped this meteor. Some of them feel it, like the ones that died, but the ones that are still standing, no, they didn't react to it. That hurts. Ow. It's gone now. Lidless Wall. I think it's because the skulls don't have eyelids.
The children of Bull Kathos settled in the northern steppes, an area that is now known as the Dreadlands. Theirs was primarily a nomadic and tribal culture, though they had a few permanent settlements such as Cesseron and Harogoth. A group of revered former warriors known as the Elder Council ruled the barbarians.
Did they now? We're probably not going to find all the lore, but I don't mind giving Cain some moments considering he's dead.
Attack me?
And a little moment of reverie there. Destroyer was the melee class in Torchlight 1? Okay. Yeah, I have a bad tendency not to remember names of things, so you'll have to forgive me if I mix stuff up whenever it comes to that. Or you can get mad at me, that's fine too. I'm fine with either way. It's part of life. Guardsman didn't have anything on him. What was he guarding? His ass. You had to look it up? Yeah. And after a while, whenever you've played a lot of games, everything starts blurring together. Maybe we should do Torchlight now. The problem is with Torchlight is the same thing that happens with Diablo, sadly, actually. And that is...
The barbarians
I didn't mean
have
to pick that
always
up.
defended their lands in the north from trespassers. They believe that it is their sacred charge to guard Mount Arreat and the world stone within it from the outside world. Unfortunately, their battle prowess and tenacity have been misinterpreted as bloodthirst and territorial savagery by soldiers in Westmarch.
Let's go ahead and get this little demon here. Boom, there you go. Die, sir. But, yeah, the problem with Torchlight is you run into the same thing that you have with Diablo, where you have to eventually acknowledge the mobile game. Hey, George. Hey, Stefani. Good morning. I don't know. Diablo 3 isn't the most disappointing game I played. But hi, Dante. I assume it's pronounced the same way as the one who had a nice long journey in a nice long book. That was basically kind of like weird fan fiction, but still, we'll ignore that.
am so good, I astound myself.
But yeah, for Diablo, it's you eventually have to acknowledge Immortal, and for Torchlight, you eventually have to acknowledge Infinite, and to an extent, what happened to Torchlight 3. Torchlight 3 is better than whenever I first tried it, because I did do some early access to it whenever it was on the Arc platform, but it got better. When it was on the Arc platform, it was awful because they were still going for the games as a service MMO thing with it, and it still sort of has a lot of those things on it, but it's not as prominent as it was, because before it was like just content bare, and you could tell that they were planning to piecemeal everything out.
You dare attack me? Not ready yet.
Okay. I think that's everything in there. When in doubt, meteors out. Yeah, for Diablo 3, I would say if it wasn't a Diablo, if it was like World of Warcraft, the action RPG, it would have gone over exceptionally well. If it was Torchlight 1, it probably actually would have gone over well too. But as Diablo, it doesn't quite fit the same atmosphere, which is one of the big complaints about it. And it is a lot more arcadey than the franchise had been previously.
Your grave awaits.
Though I have a feeling Diablo 2 and Diablo 1 are going to start becoming the outlier for the Diablo franchise if we get anything past 4. Just a hunch. Diablo 3 focused on the power fantasy, yes. Diablo 2 did as well compared to Diablo 1. It's just, since it was developed by Blizzard North, it still had a lot of the like main crew's fingerprints all over it. And it wasn't just Brevik, it wasn't just, I could just go off on the entire list of the original Blizzard North folks, but it wasn't just one or two of them. That's why the breakoffs other than ArenaNet kind of struggled. But you see the same thing with Final Fantasy VIII is another good example of a game that that happened to. If it wasn't marketed as a Final Fantasy, it probably would have actually gotten better reviews. Despite being kind of a mediocre game compared to the other Final Fantasies, it would have been a good just new RPG franchise. So that's just my stance on it. I know I've driven that home like crazy in the past, and I will try not to overdo it now, but yeah, the way Diablo 3 came about, there actually was a Diablo 3 in development by Blizzard North. It got re-nicknamed to Diablo 2.5, but there was one of those in development whenever, I think it was Vivendi at the time, it might have been Davidson, I'm pretty sure it was Vivendi though. Whenever they decided to close the Blizzard North offices, a lot of things changed. A few people did actually go to Blizzard South as part of like their deal. They decided to go there instead of losing their jobs. But Diablo 3 basically got taken over by the Blizzard South team, and they developed this from scratch. They didn't use any of the stuff from Blizzard North. And the Blizzard South team was StarCraft and Warcraft, which both did this style, did it really well. The music in Final Fantasy VIII was good, at least. I have to say, Final Fantasy VIII, the main thing that hurts it for me, I don't care that the story's a little weird. I don't care about a lot of stuff in it. I don't care that you even actually had to do all the damn draw X, Y, and Z things. But what I really cared about was the fact that it had scaling difficulty based on what level you ground to. So you never ended up being able to like get ahead of your threats, which was the main reason to put levels into RPGs in the first place. It's your kind of, what may not have been the reason, but it is the mechanical equalizer, basically. It sets the difficulty, how hard you can grind above stuff.
Minions. The men actually think that They can hide behind their paltry little walls. But they have only had a glimpse of the full host of hell. We will see them drown in our tide of sin. The girl is still weak, and their hero will not expect us to attack from below. Send in the ravening beast.
The ravening beast? Okay. Diablo 2 mercenaries equal Diablo 3 backyardness. I mean, I wouldn't go quite that childish, but this is definitely closer to Fate than it is to Diablo in terms of aesthetic.
You dare attack me?
Of course, I have to say the Blizzard South folks had a better sense of humor than the Blizzard North folks. even just though I actually kind of relate more to the Blizzard North, Blizzard South actually had... Oh, he's talking to me.
Too late. My servant is already inside your walls, and his...
Does Diablo 3 have a hardcore mode? I don't think so. If it does, I haven't tried it. Okay, so we need to find the Bastion's Keep larder. And it's not too difficult. They do? See, I don't really engage too much with that stuff. On online games, I don't even go looking for it. Because generally speaking, online games, if you're dying to hardcore, it's because the server lag and stuff like that, and no one can guarantee 100% uptime. Let's see, it does. You have never died after Infernal mode was changed, so forget that it does at times. That'd be another reason. You have to realize how long it's been since I actually made a new character in this. I went through and made a level 1 character of every class. That's one of them that we're playing right now. And I made all the level 1 characters in 2017 as part of the plan to actually play through as every single class, which we ended up not doing.
I trapped some huge demons in the next room. I've been praying the doors will
That's why
hold.
we're a wizard here.
They need to be killed, but they're too much for me.
Hey Adam, how's it going? But yeah, Diablo 3 is one of those games that I can play for like a couple weeks and be fine.
That was amazing. With you around, we might just beat these demons after all.
Groovy. But I can play it for like a week or two at a time, and then I am done with it. It lacks any depth for me beyond that. And then I can come back to it later and be perfectly fine. Whereas Diablo 2, it's like, oh, I can try this build. I found this item. I can try this build now. I found this little combination of skills is kind of fun to mess with. Let's make a build around that. Diablo 3, like, if I see, oh, that's interesting, I'm going to just change to it right now. I don't have to level another character. I don't have to invest the time or effort in thinking, oh, how does this class get through normal difficulty, nightmare, hell? How does it face all these challenges? It's literally, I already have one that already did the challenges. Let me just switch it over. And frankly, most of the characters feel the same to me. This does not feel significantly different from playing the Necromancer in this. I can play just as badly and be just as successful.
The one who killed Lord Belial. I will savor, tearing the flesh from your bones.
Hardcore's like that, but multiplied because you have all these rune word, jewelry, etc. things, dude.
Still waiting.
Lord of Gluttony, by gom. He was so scary. Oh, we need to return to Bastion's Keep.
I can barely
He reminds me a
breathe down
lot
here.
of crap, something from Warcraft.
Over a useless
I just can't remember what it's called.
You have only delayed your inevitable destruction. Your walls have grown no stronger. Our assault continues unabated. The stone will still be mine.
You done there, Azzy? The Azzy hole. Let's see. Anything else that I want? Ooh, this might actually... This is better. We want to keep that. Don't want to switch out our helmet. Can you actually equip that? You can.
Thank you.
Just double checking if she has anything that'll improve her.
Magnificent.
Because we're doing fine. Damage 21,000. Yeah, damage gets ridiculous in this. You'd like a Diablo in first-person mode? That would definitely... I would like Diablo 1 in first-person mode. That intrigues me. Diablo 3, not as much. But if you actually want a kind of hectic, just make you rip out your brain cells, I think it's called like Super Beast Terror Fright or something like that. I can link it, a little affiliate link to it in a little while, but that one, poof. It's frustrating because you actually have to strategize how you're going to beat a level, but it's just craziness. But it'll make you jump, like, because you're in dark hallways. But there's not really a fantasy one I can think of that's really an equivalent. That one's sci-fi. Skull Crusher. Like Wesley Crusher.
Terrifying noises were coming from the armory, so Tyrael went to investigate. He said if you were to return, I should send you there.
Dark and Darker, if memory serves, is the Tarkov-esque fantasy game. That one would be
I am losing control.
kind of dark, but I don't get into PvP stuff that much these days. I might try it with some friends, but it does get under my skin a bit.
The Soul Stone seems stable now.
The demon's rage has been subdued.
Yes, but for how long? Our time grows short. We must take this fight to Azmodan.
I will fight my way across the battlefields and descend into Ariat Crater, where he hides.
Groovy. Let's go find his ass. Yeah, I prefer having to think about my builds, kind of plan them out. And one thing that Diablo 2 does better than actually all of the other Diablos is how the equipment interacts with stuff. That's one thing I don't think a lot of people appreciate.
I have saved Bastion's Keep. It is time to leave the confines of the Keep and take the fight to Azmodan's war machines upon the open fields.
But a lot of games, they'll borrow things like knockback, to an extent things like crushing blow, but the way a lot of the Diablo mechanics, like Diablo 2 mechanics, interact is not something that's really reproduced. Because in a lot of games, it's just straight up more damage, more better. But in Diablo 2, having chill, having bleed, having poison actually makes an impact.
Thank the gods.
Hey, Vincent, how's it going?
We've got to destroy those ballistae. They're raining hell down upon us. We can't last much longer.
Oh no. Cross the bridge of Corsic. I take it we should have been doing something out there.
I become more powerful.
For sure. The watered-down nature of games to encompass a bigger audience and thus produce more money is not really attractive. That 100%. I actually really agree with that one. And that's one reason why games as a service are just so successful at making money. There is a thing you'll sometimes hear me say, bad games make good money. And you'll see that with EA, you'll see that with mobile games, you'll see that with all kinds of stuff. It doesn't need to be a good game. It needs to be a game that is easily digestible, that gives people the dopamine they want. And that can come from some crappy-ass games. It's also one reason why I play more indie games right now. Believe it or not. Yes, I do pretty much entirety of Diablo 2 on this channel, but majority of my playtime on like Steam and stuff like that, indie games. And cookie clickers, but we don't judge me on that. Most of the time, those cookie clickers are running while I'm rendering stuff. And by cookie clickers, for a while there it was... Oh crap, I'm trying to remember the name of it. Grim Clicker, there was Perfect Tower for a while. Perfect Tower was more of like a weird amalgamation of like practice games, if that makes sense. Because, yeah, you had the tower defense thing, and you just set that up and it would go as long as it could. You could use some active abilities here and there, but they were mostly important if you scripted them. But, yeah, it's very... There was a Galaga clone, there was a deck builder in it, all kinds of weird stuff. Cookie clickers, they're also known as incremental games. Basically games that you're going to progress if you put time into them regardless. And they generally don't take much skill, but rather just optimization. But they're named after, well, Cookie Clicker, which is literally a game itself. Free to play on browsers. FromSoft has amazing games. There's still like AA and AAA developers that do actually make really good games. But it's the exception, not the rule. Sadly. Let's grab Lost Salvation, which is boots. Might be better for Mercenary. Nope, it's not even better for Mercenary. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Armored Core 6. If I could justify playing it on this channel, I would so go back and try playing the old Armored Cores again. Like, go from the original and go back through. But we're not getting a lot of viewers right now. We have 18 in here. Woo! Hi, folks. But if I cover games like that, it would be like 3. Because most of the people tune into this channel for not Armored Core, for Diablo and Diablo adjacent properties. Which is my own fault for leaning so heavily into that, but I was enjoying it, so. Still am to an extent. I enjoy playing Diablo 2. Although I have tried every build you can even think of. I've beaten the game with Firebolt, for God's sake. Not... And there's also the whole, like, shebang about, oh, nobody's covering the Enchantress. I covered the Enchantress a few patches ago. And I've had one since 1.07. It's like, it's one of those things. I play that a lot. Yes, it got better, but it's just back to its old, well, sorry, 1.08. But, yeah, it's just a weird thing. I find them fun to mess around with. I also find the concept of things like the Warrior Princess Amazon a lot of fun. It's just playing classes wrong successfully. And that's not something you actually can do in a lot of modern action RPGs either. Like, we have optimal way we think you should play, and we design the game around that. Tough luck if you want to try something weird like no skill challenge. which would be a real nightmare in certain games. I can't even imagine playing like Grim Dawn without taking any skills.
Your grave awaits.
Warrior Princess Amazon should use daggers, oddly enough. It's one reason why I'm a big proponent of including better daggers. Get back here. Whoa.
Need more time.
Got him. Daggers actually use the same animation as javelins, whereas swords use a different animation, which actually slows down your block and your hit recovery. Your animations for those. It's strange. What are you shooting? Enchantress was just having a day over here. Yeah, Diablo 2's itemization actually helps make weird builds possible. Because without the itemization of Diablo 2, you wouldn't have Tesladins. You wouldn't have... Well, you still sort of have Tesladins. You wouldn't have Tesla Source. You wouldn't have a lot of things. But yeah, you get different animations based on... There's one-hand thrusting, two-hand thrusting, one-hand swinging, two-hand swinging. Crap, there's other ones. Bear Sorceress used to be amazing, and then they nerfed the bear form's attack speed. And now it's... I mean, it does damage. It has a lot of life, but you're just better off doing a human form Lightning Sorceress, unfortunately. Yeah, enchantresses are fun. I wish they would actually show some love to...
Not ready yet.
Whatchamacallit? Poison Dagger. Maybe change it to Poison Blade or Poison Weapon. Let you actually use it with any weapon. And I don't even necessarily need it to be an Enchant or Venom style effect. Just make it apply to more weapons. Or make its duration shorter. Or even just increase its damage per second. Doesn't even necessarily need to be shorter. Because as it stands, you're 99% of the time you're better off using just Poison Nova. It's a lot less risky and it does more damage per second. Similar situation for Poison Explosion. That said, Venom is a bit better with some of the changes if you have the Rainbow Facets to support it. Still not an amazing piece of kit, unfortunately. But better than a Sharp Stick at least. Ah. Poison Scythe. That would actually be really cool. That would actually make the Necromancer Scythe semi-useful. And would open up a lot of other fun things. Yep, the original like press material for Diablo 2 showed the Necromancer using a scythe, which was kind of the reason why I got hooked on playing the Necromancer.
If only they could see me now.
Was there anywhere else in here we could go? I don't think so. I think this was just bonus dungeon, wasn't it? Yeah, Scythe was never a like great weapon for the Necromancer. In some patches, you could actually get away with using it and just looking cool, but my first character, yeah, was in the beta. Diablo 3 Necromancer was fully realized. The Scythe was a spell, yep. But in Diablo 2, he wasn't. I wish they would have shown some love to it in Diablo 2. Because that whole, like, you're the Grim Reaper Necromancer kind of thing was the whole vibe they were shipping originally. But in Diablo 3, you just basically have your cantrips. I don't know what else you'd call them. Your low-level skills that recharge you. Which reminds me, I still need, now that the 1.0 OGL is back to being perpetual, I might get back to work on doing a Diablo conversion for 5e. Whereas Diablo, they're just sitting here talking. Conversation always steers towards Diablo 2. I mean, if you would have... Shut up, Osmond. If you would have been part of the channel, like, I want to say, 2013 or so, people would have said the same thing about Shadow Era. That's one thing about YouTube, is that, yeah, you will always be known for, like, a little bit of that, and there are people in this very chat looking at you who have been around since then. I am a multi-game player. I like Diablo 2. I've played Diablo 2, well, about half my life. Little bit under. And, yeah. It's just one of those things that is part of, like, what I guess would identify me but doesn't define me kind of thing. Here, you guys fight while I read chat. But I do want to do a 5e version of...
Thank Akarat you've come. They won't stop us now.
Diablo.
We couldn't hold on. There were just too many of them. Men are losing hope. The demons' numbers seem endless. They come at all times, day or night, and no amount of casualties we inflict slows their advance. We need reinforcements. We need help.
What do I mean by the D&D version thing?
We must be swift.
Back in the day, there was a D&D 2e and 3e, but I want to make one in 5e. Yeah.
I'm stronger still.
But I would do, like, an official, like, big one if Blizzard would actually respond to my attempts at emails, but unfortunately, they do not. So, I guess I'll just do it as an unofficial fan project, and if they get mad at it and tell me to stop, I'll stop. Ah. Here's Demonic Ballista number 1.
Your grave awaits.
Not even a canned response email. It's also... It's probably because I also don't qualify. Like, if I were to apply for a Diablo 2 press key, I don't need one. I'm not going to apply for one. I don't qualify for it. You have to average 25,000 views per video to qualify for a press key from them. I think for the Twitch requirements are a lot more lax, if memory serves, unless they changed them again. But... Nope. I wasn't paying attention to the battlefield enough there.
Still waiting.
Let's get it. But it's fine. Right about now, Funk Soul Brother, right about now.
It is too late.
I think the average for the channel is somewhere around 10,000 average views per video, which isn't bad. But it's not like, oh no, I'm Mr. Beast. I don't want to be Mr. Beast, by the way. Being Mr. Beast would suck. Especially in the gaming space.
Not ready yet.
Give me a stream with like a couple hundred people in it and everybody just chatting and having a good time, and I will take that any day over having 10 million subs and all these like weird, creepy stalkers. It's just a lot happier. A lot of people mistake thinking, oh, every YouTuber wants to be at 1 million plus subs with billions of, yeah, no, emails a day. Even at my size, I get a lot of like creepy emails and kind of crappy emails too.
Each and every crusader was a warrior of rare strength. They had mastered the power of light, of weapon and shield, and of self. Each was sworn to live as a crusader and to die as one. 200 years ago, they took their apprentices and set out into the eastern swamplands. They were never heard from again. Until now.
Minions. There is nothing I loathe more than failure. You know this well, but if any of you need a further lesson, I will have you delivered into the Circle of Wrath with great haste. The enemy is strong, but she cannot pass the demon gate. Secure it, or your lives will be forfeit.
I mean, their lives will be forfeit even if they don't successfully block me. Because I'm murdering them all. Just what I do. Can I pick up the ring? Oh, we have a unique. I didn't even notice we had gotten a unique. It tells you how much attention I'm paying to actual drops. You guys fight that guy. I'm looking at an amulet. I'm navel gazing right now. Here, eat the meteor. The game is so colorful. Yes, it is. Yeah, I actually have some stories about creepy stalkers. Some people found my Facebook. This was years ago, but they found my Facebook and were sending me friend requests on there. Don't friend request me on Facebook. You can add me on Steam, and if I recognize you or you tell me you're going to add me on Steam, I'll add you. I have a huge list of people that I need to filter through on there, so chances are I won't see it. But until then, but I don't really mind that as much. But Facebook, any kind of personal channels, no, please don't. When not taking damage dealt is increased by up to 100%, and damage taken is increased by up to 50%. It's interesting. I'm not sure I like that extra damage. We'll upgrade her. Okay, I think that's good enough. That's a Templar relic. That is an Enchantress relic.
Yes.
Okay. How many friends can you have on Steam? I have no earthly idea. I don't know. I can't really say the uniques are uneventful. They've kind of defined, like the weapons have defined our build. Mainly because we do...
I'm just warming up.
Every single one we've got has like increased our damage output significantly. Trebuchet device. Trebuchet is done.
Need more time.
I do love that the clones will use my spells though. But I would have to check at like what limit I have. I'm fairly high level on Steam. Like account level. If someone knows like how many you get per level, that would be an interesting thing. Yeah, our first unique actually increased our damage by like 4 times.
I wish I could
I'm
do
trying
that.
to run away. Thank you. Keep forgetting to put my shield and stuff back up. One thing that I wish Diablo 3 hadn't started as a trend is the chaos of the field. We don't really see it too much in this encounter, but you may have noticed the little exploding things going around. Those, I don't see them very well in the chaos, so it's like, eh. But yeah, adding damage is usually the better go-to for, like, if you're just going for just raw power kind of as your reason for getting better uniques, then that's fine. In game design, just give them more damage. Giving more survivability doesn't really do much, unless you have some kind of aggro and reason to use aggro, which means forced multiplayer. I think the third is up here. But yeah, like all these orbs and stuff like that. I can understand to an extent, but this basically turns it into more of a bullet hell, which I am notoriously not a fan of. Yes, I think they look cool, and yes, I do try them every now and then, but I very rarely play a bullet hell for very long.
I will not fail you. I will follow you to the end, to the burning pits where the demons smolder in rage.
The number of creepy stalkers you have is an indicator of success? Nah. Weirdly enough, that all happened before I even hit like 3,000 subs. Now I haven't had it happen since then, nor do I want it to happen, so don't take that as an invitation. I don't mind chilling and playing with viewers, but you have to realize you only know me from my videos. I only know you from your comments.
Look out! They've been circling for hours.
Look out, they've been circling for hours. There they are. All one of them. Let's see. Where would the other one be? Maybe down here? Only other spot I can think of. But if it's just to play games, I am perfectly fine with that. When I call it a creepy stalker, it's usually people trying to get into my personal life. Which is a bit much. Oh, it is just down here. There. Destroy it.
I do not need my siege weapons to slay you. You stand in the middle of the army of hell. It will crush you.
Will it now?
Your armies from the walls of the keep. I destroyed them upon the open field. You have nothing that I fear.
I can only imagine the kind of creepy things that have happened with like llama and such that are much bigger.
I could no longer sit idly by while you brought the fight to Azmodan. It has been too long since I felt the thrill of battle myself.
Destroying my siege weapons makes little difference. Every hour, more of my forces pour forth from the mouth of hell. Soon, they will wipe your pathetic keep from existence.
Brave words, Azmodan. But forward, friend.
We worked hard enough to reform. You honor us,
Okay,
Seraph.
moving forward. But yeah, I've actually seen the opposite happen sometimes as well, where creators are the creepy ones.
Be gone from this.
But I don't know any of those personally. I've only witnessed it from kind of like the outside kind of thing. But yes, there are definitely creators who are just as kind of off-putting, is probably the nicest way to put it. Some of them still exist on YouTube too, but they try to target, they usually target younger audiences with their content. And they try to manipulate the audience into treating them a certain way. One reason why I'm really, really suspicious of creators who don't maintain that personal life slash YouTube life distinction. Like, I'm fairly transparent about how I'm feeling, what I'm thinking, and all that stuff on here. But I'm not here inviting people to text me or call my home phone or anything else like that, or meet my friends. No. We'll play games. We'll enjoy the same hobbies. Beyond that, no. And I know that for a while there's some people were saying like that is one reason why women have an advantage on the they really don't, by the way. I need to make it perfectly clear, women do not have an advantage on YouTube. The way that one works, this is actually a deep dive into some of my history with working with people on YouTube. Yeah, lots of creators are creep. Well, yes and no. Some get called creeps and don't deserve it. But you'll find that a lot of people with various mental disorders or insecurities and stuff like that do tend to congregate to YouTube, so there is a higher density of it. But yeah, on the thing about women having an advantage or not on YouTube, there is an advantage to being a woman for the initial like handful of subs and stuff like that. That is kind of an understood because, you know, all the horn dogs. There are big disadvantages because they suffer so much harassment on the platform. Out of like all the female creators I've actually worked with, only a couple haven't been like overtly harassed by viewers. Like, give me feed pics and shit like that. No. It gets weird. And then once you get to about the 250,000 size, which, yes, I do have friends around that size and larger. Once you get around that size, generally you'll find that any advantage they had is gone. You've hit a point where you're not getting any advantage from it, but you're getting more harassment. I don't know why feet pics is so common thing, but there's male VTubers too, and not just ones who have female avatars.
Hell, demon spawn.
But there is definitely a thing there, and there's also a ceiling to VTubers as well. They tend to appeal more to kind of younger male audiences. VTuber is a virtual tuber, basically using an avatar instead of their actual face. I have never gotten asked for a feet pic in earnest. I have been asked for them as a joke while having conversations about that kind of stuff. I've had people threaten to send me dick pics, which that happens like orders of magnitude more to women. But yeah, it's weird. This video is now demonetized because I said dick, by the way. So feel free to enjoy the lack of ads. Speaking of which, interestingly enough, YouTube has not popped up that thing that says, you should play an ad now this time. So I'm actually content about that. But there's definitely some sketchy stuff that goes on. And that's one thing that I think a lot of new YouTubers don't understand. And there's YouTubers I know who are like in the, like, I would want to say probably around the 250 to 500,000 sub range that haven't ran into stuff like that. How? If I know. Tell me your secrets, but there are ones that haven't. Ah, you don't use Twitch for the ads. One thing I really, really wish YouTube would let us do, speaking of premium and no ads, because on Twitch you can actually disable ads for subs. Like, people who are supporting your channel financially don't see ads on your channel, which is a really good thing. I wish YouTube would let us do that as well. Let channel members not have ads. Underbridge. Like underbra or underboob. And it's going to be like, hey, you've got to go under to get through. No, don't.
Eldruin will destroy the demonic seal protecting this gate.
You know what? I think... And hi, Mocha. I was going to start a thought on what you said before even acknowledging it. I'm sorry. But I think I might just make a poll. That's going to hurt.
I'm injured.
But I think I might just start a poll with Dragon's Dogma, Torchlight. Trying to think what other ones. Warcraft 40. I mean, not Warcraft. Warhammer 40k. A few others on it. And oh yeah, you'd rather pay the one thing to YouTube and not have any ads on any channels? I can understand. That's actually perfectly fine. I just wish they gave it as an option. Or no ads. Because I know there's people who don't do YouTube Premium, but will do, like, say, $1 to the channel per month. I wish I could give those people who do $1 to the channel no ads, because guess what? That $1 is more than the ads would have generated anyway. So I might as well give them no ads.
I come with urgent news. Leah has had another vision. A vision of twisted demonic towers and enormous hearts beating within them.
I know of them. They are the Sin Hearts. Asmodan must have dredged them up from the depths of his realm to empower his legions.
Then I will be happy to stop them from beating.
Why am I not playing the season? Because I'm not really interested in it. Baldur's Gate. BGDA. Oh, Dark Alliance. I know which one you're talking about. Maybe on those. It depends on if I can get them either running on my original hardware, which I have, or whether I can emulate them nicely. I'd probably want to emulate them. It would undercut YouTube's bottom line to an extent, but not really. They already do take like half of it. As far as the platforms, if you're looking like strictly to just like give someone a tip, of course PayPal's probably the best, but Patreon's the best kind of like monthly platform as far as like percent to the creators, followed by Twitch, and YouTube is kind of the worst for it in some things. Twitch is worse in like ads and stuff like that. You get a smaller percent, but on YouTube, the split isn't really that great, but they have the ad volume to back it. So you're more likely to get more money just because of the volume.
Ruins, while Asmodan has brought hell itself into the crater. I will destroy the Sin Hearts that bring unholy light to his armies, and then face the Lord of Sin himself.
And that's actually one reason why if I support a creator, I will look for their Patreon first and then move down the line. Just because they get the biggest cut out of that. I could care less what cut the platform gets.
You've killed one of my
as long as the creator gets the maximum cut.
Now,
I only support a few creators because
attention.
they're people who have helped me get to where I am, or that I actively watch frequently. But beyond that, it's... And also, by the way, I wholeheartedly endorse people using ad block. Shut up, Asmodon. If you don't want to watch ads, use ad block. I'd rather you watch the videos with ad block than not watch them at all. Even if you're not a supporter on Patreon or whatever. Oh, and just as an aside, as far as YouTube Premium, that's actually better than ads too. Unless you are watching, I'm trying to remember how many hours it's calculated out to. Unless you are watching an ungodly amount of YouTube, creators actually get a larger portion of premium than they would from ads too. So there's whole discussions on this on various YouTube communities. I don't know how much... I won't name names of who does most of this analysis and stuff like that, because I think that would cause them some trouble, but use the dislike display extension on Chrome. Unfortunately, this is an odd thing. Every single time someone has mentioned the percents it shows on my videos, I can't speak to other people's videos. I haven't asked. So it's kind of like one of those things, like, I suppose I could ask them and find out what it displays for them. But for some reason, its estimates are like way off on mine for some reason. I've had people say, yeah, the dislike on this is god awful or whatever, and it's like 97% like to dislike. And on some of the extensions that restore dislikes, it shows something like 80%. So always take it with a grain of salt, but they can be helpful in some situations. Because a lot of times they don't take it. They're estimates, yes. They are 100% estimates. The API will not feed you dislikes no matter what you throw at them. Otherwise, you'd actually see them be supported by things like vidIQ.
But who are these tall blonde warriors?
Because vidIQ can sort of pull it because it has... I don't use it on my actual account, but because it pulls back-end data as opposed to normal API data. It has privileged access, whereas those extensions do not. It gets estimates from basically the rate of dislikes by the people using the extension, and then it runs it through some various formulas based on like other things, depending on which one you have. It's sometimes other videos by that channel, sometimes based on just like estimates based on what percentage of people using the extension like dislike. So if you have a lot of people disliking with the extension but nobody disliking without it, it'll estimate it much higher than it actually is. Whereas if you have more people disliking it who don't use the extension proportionally, then you'll actually have lower dislike estimates. It still helps. I'm not bashing on using it. It's actually a helpful thing for kind of determining whether something's clickbait or useless or didn't work for people. Actually a useful tool for that. It's just take it with a grain of salt.
I am so good. I astound
Take it with a serious grain of salt. Generally, I wouldn't trust it unless it has over, say, probably about a 50% dislike ratio on one of those. In which case, that means half the people who downloaded the extension dislike it. Yeah, it's kind of like a community tool. It's kind of like, I'm going back to ad blockers here. Some of them actually use I forget the term. I think it's heuristics or whatever it's called. Basically, user behavior to determine whether something is an invasive ad or not. They don't use it too much anymore. They use whitelists a lot more. But basically, user behavior helps you determine a lot of that stuff. Hey, Pax, how's it going? I'm just running through the nonsense. It's like, oh, it's a trap. Tough.
Your grave awaits.
See, I like these little guys. They're easy to deal with. Yeah, there's a lot of interesting tools. But, yeah. I'm doing pretty good. I am not really paying attention to the game. But I'm having fun interacting with chat and making progress, so... I think after we finish this run, I might start working on, like, I don't like super intrusive overlays, but I might work on, like, a mini overlay I can do for games. Oh, it's 10:30 there? Damn. It's getting light. You know, which I need to actually, there, I can see my clock now. And yes, that does throw me off. There are certain time zones that are 30 minutes off instead of an hour.
Dare attack me?
But yeah, there are a lot of really useful tools that are available for YouTubers and viewers, and there are constantly people analyzing them too, and constantly people trying to break them as well.
Time is done. You will find only death in my realm.
Yeah, only time you should see ads on stream, by the way, is whenever you first load in, and whenever I might run them if I'm doing like an intermission or something. But I'll never run them during actual content. As far as videos, video ads are weird. That's a whole like quagmire to dive into as well. Yes, I do put ads in the middle of the YouTube video, but the placements, the way those ads work is they don't guarantee an ad will be placed. Those are potential spots. The way YouTube approaches, and these guys, I always feel so sorry for them.
In eternal torment.
Oh, I remember this section. But yeah, I feel bad for them even though they're demons. There's a way you can avoid the sad fate of shoving the stone in your head. Is that just like quitting the game? I think there's some DLC that changes it, but as far as avoiding it like with the actual core game, I don't know. I don't think so. But anywho, on the YouTube end of things, yeah, there's a lot of weird things. But the ad placement, you place an ad and YouTube does a handful of things. First of all, it checks if there's, frankly, any ads around to be served that fit the person who's watching it. But the more you skip ads and the more you kind of like avoid watching ads, or the time you leave off a video on ads, the less ads it will give you. Even if someone places them in their video.
I can't pick up anything else.
Because their goal, even with all that stuff, is to keep you on the platform. And let's go ahead and go shove some stuff into the Grand Mill. Have anything better? Doesn't look like it. Oh, the belt's better. A lot better, actually. 5.2. Let's go ahead and go with this one first. Double checking the rest of these. Not really that much better, but she could use a belt up.
If you insist. I need to go back.
When you kill Diablo, the game freezes before the cutscene starts. If you save the game before the cutscene starts and reload the file, the game unfreezes and you escape hell, opening a TP. Yeah, but the game doesn't end. This is the game that never ends. Yes, it goes on and on, my friends. Some people started playing it forever just because. No. Someone's going to shank me for singing that. It's going to find me like, no, bad Alzorath. Not only am I showing my age with that, I am causing trauma responses for a few people. Although I think mostly it would be Canadian and American people. Well, Canadians are American, but that's a whole different discussion.
I feast on their agony, their eternal anguish.
Aren't these demons like just constantly being filleted or something like that?
Still waiting.
If memory serves, they're just like constantly being filleted or something. Then open another TP somewhere else, which forces the previous TP to close. After that, Diablo's level closes permanently. That's strange. I remember this because this tower just takes forever to run through. Not even stopping to fight the guy that's following me.
You're an extraordinary one, aren't you?
I wouldn't say I'm extraordinary. Persistent, yes. Extraordinary, no. But where would we be without persistence? Yeah, I enjoy Diablo 1. And I don't know how that would interact with multiplayer, because you can actually just leave. as Diablo's dying. In multiplayer and then just continue on. I do find it sad that you lose all your legendaries
I am so good. I astound
if you
myself.
go into like higher difficulties with single player. I think it's on
Met my
PlayStation.
daughters, I see. Are you enjoying their company?
No, you get back here. There are times when you kill Diablo first and start slaughtering enemies from cave to cathedral. You notice some interesting changes whenever you kill the main boss first. Is it a lot easier? That would actually be cool if there were mechanics like that. I know Diablo 2 has a few. Things like if you kill the council, the zealots will actually run away from you. One thing that I don't think a lot of people notice. Yeah, there's a lot of little things like that that people may or may not actually notice about enemy AI changes depending on where you're at in Diablo 2.
Do you see that massive demon just off of our path? It is one of the Blade, an unwilling servant of Asmodee. Others torture it by ripping its skin off in large sheaths. They use it to build their terrible structures.
Let's see, the light range decreases after Diablo's death and you can one-shot enemies really fast? Interesting. I'll have to try that at some point. Not right now, but at some point.
All the pain and suffering you're enduring. You must be dying to meet me.
Am I really enduring a lot of pain? It seems more like I'm inflicting. She's like, oh, all the pain and suffering you must be enduring. No, I'm just kind of here. My clones are enduring a little bit of pain, but not me. Not getting hit by 90. Oh, they've got lasers. Why did it have to be lasers? Snakes. Why did it have to be snakes? Get all these motherfucking snakes off this motherfucking plane. Oh, by the way, if I do a longer intermission, there are Easter eggs in the music. Dun, 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 dun. Laser time. There we go. Oh yeah, we only have single burst. Keep forgetting we got rid of the thing that gave us multi-burst on that.
Not ready yet.
It's a little bit sad because now we don't have that as an option.
The chains tear at their flesh. Hear their screams. Such sweet music.
I'm not really hearing them scream. But we are on the Endless Tower. Give this bug a go in Hellfire single player. You don't know if this bug will work on multiplayer.
I suppose I should introduce myself. I am Sedea, Maiden of Lust, Consort.
Maiden of Lust. I mean, you look like a spider. I'm sorry, but that does not seem very lusty to me.
How invigorating. Play with my daughters. I do not wish to tire you out.
Your scream!
Found the beautiful girl in Sanctuary. I mean, if that's your thing. You're all about those legs. She got 8 of them.
The blood hemorrhaging from the sin heart. Oh, you will pay for this.
Well, you gonna come fight me? Come fight me, bro. Okay, grab those. No, it's not a Kara yet. Here's the days when enemies were the silent type. Strong silent type. Not even death can save you from me. And you're too late. My brothers have escaped.
So close now. So close.
Are we really so close? I mean, she does have kind of a similar vibe. Although Akara was a little bit more soft-spoken. Ah, fresh meat. Line from Diablo is still metal. Yes. The butcher. Not even the devs can save you from pre-order. Said it before, I'll say it again. Don't pre-order Diablo 4 until you try it. Probably a perfectly fine game. We don't know what the monetization is going to be, but you can try it in the open beta to at least get a feel for the gameplay, see if that's worth it for you. There's literally no advantage to doing more than just playing it in the open beta. Unless you've already pre-ordered, in which case play the open beta, for God's sake. I mean, sorry, the closed beta.
You dare attack
Caitlin
me?
Stark. I actually haven't watched Game of Thrones. I mean, I've seen enough clips that I've probably watched the entire thing, like, via clip, but... that's about as close as it's going to get. I actually don't know the names of each of the voice actors in the different games.
Didn't see that coming, did you?
Which is kind of an oversight on my part, but at the same time, I will forget names regardless, even if I actively look them up. Are we getting close? Got to keep heading into the east. Always into the east.
I'm just warming
I do
up.
find it kind of an interesting thing in gaming. Left to right is going to be predominant. Even in just like normal map traversal. Not even talking about like side scrollers. A lot of levels are designed left to right. If you just like watch for it, it's very strange. Because you'd think it would be designed to like kind of zigzag you down in a more natural way, because a lot of things in life are not always just going to the right. Unless you're reading. In which case, I think, by the way, we're not too far. Like 2 stops away from the Beetle Boy. Sorry. Find the Tower of the Cursed. Diablo 1 was just straight down. It is kind of distinct in that regard. Let's see. I'll check over here. I don't think this is going to go anywhere, but it might.
I am unstoppable.
We're just looking for the Tower of Zikast. And yes, I do save the little explosion thing as kind of a panic button whenever things are close. Cleanse the cursed chest. Sure, I'll do that in just a minute. Okay. Sorry. Phlegm for a moment. That's why I keep a ton of water here. Okay, get those back up. Let our mana recover.
Done. How does that feel?
There's wave 2.
Still waiting.
There's wave 3. I don't think we're gonna get it.
Need more time.
Yeah, we're not gonna get it. Because I've been a little bit reckless with my mana. I mean, we'll still get the, like, original chest. That's not a problem. But we won't get the bonus chest.
Not ready yet.
Because I didn't optimize for it.
I am unstoppable.
For Diablo 1, it makes sense. At that time, games were all advancing levels, one level at a time. Could be up a tower, going down a dungeon. Yep. There's some games, I'm not saying all games do the left-right thing. It's just a more common thing. Just interesting to me. I don't know why it's a thing, besides language reading that way. In most of the, like, Western countries. There's some that read right to left, but they're not really dominant in the gaming space. Japanese is, yeah, the only other major developer besides the US in the early days, and then moved over to Europe and stuff like that. Kind of grew on. I just glitched the audio a little bit. Remember the Diablo 1 game style they tried in Diablo 3? I had heard about it. And I think I played a little bit of it, but didn't actually go... The Haunting of Tristram, or whatever it's called, Darkening of Tristram event. But I didn't really go too far into it. But I had heard of it. Hi, Colossal. Should we mix up our skills a little bit, by the way, now that we don't have the triple dip on the explosions?
Still waiting.
Because I could swap out that explosion for something else if it seems like an interesting skill. We could drop that and go for chain of consecutive explosions. That might actually be what we need. Or we could go Archon. Let's go Archon for a while. I'm not sure how good it is. We're sticking with Meteor. Familiar has Cannoneer. Mirror Image has... We'll stick with the more mirror images. Before D2R, someone tried to make a D2 HD mod using D3 graphics called The Curse of Tristram. Did not know about that one. I know there was one that was using StarCraft 2 as a base for a Diablo 2 remaster.
Pain, Nephilim. You think you know anguish? Soon my concubine will show you their true meaning.
I mean, Archon's not bad. Interesting. Have I tried Octopath 2 already? No, I have not, because I cannot afford it right now. Otherwise, I would. It's a game I want to play, and it's a game I have on my wish lists. And it's one that I am watching for it to drop to a reasonable price. But unfortunately, considering who made it, it's never going to drop to a reasonable price. That's how it rolls. Oh yeah, and I'm gonna change off of Archon. It's cool and all, but it's not exactly what I want right now. I think I want Disintegrate as my panic button skill. We don't have black hole. We'll get that next level. Energy armor, no. Magic weapon, you said, increases the damage? We might try that. We might do Blizzard. In the first age on the first battle. Japanese games are yes, Japanese games. It's not even really Japanese games. It is Square and Nintendo. Don't ever drop their prices unless something is going on. So I have to keep that in mind. So let's go with Disintegrate. Or do we want to go with... Let's just go magic weapon. Go ahead and have those things kind of built up. You receive fatal damage? No. Go, let's go ahead and try that. So now we have arcane weapon and all that other jazz going on. Oh, it's down at the bottom. You need to sleep? Have a good night, Pax. Rest well. Archive will be eventually going up on Let's Play Everything, or it'll be on unlisted but accessible from the front page. If you want to just catch up on this one. Thing is, over on the Let's Play Everything, I don't have control of the ads yet, because it's a small channel after all.
That was inspiring.
I like how pretty much all of our skills are now just like bonuses except for the clones. And our like two main attacks of Meteor and Shoot Fire. Hey, buddy. Get back here. Got him. Buy the game full price sometimes. Shopping with girlfriend? No.
I cannot be certain who is truly cursed within this
Well, I am
tower. Demons or us?
I'm not a big shopper to begin with, so... There's just something about wandering around in crowds of people that I've done a little bit too much of in my life that I really don't appreciate doing anymore.
Oh, the things I'm
shop
going
for
to
just what
do
I
to
need.
you.
You have interesting taste.
My mind is my own again.
Their minds are their... Oh, okay. So we have friends, apparently. We're releasing people from the succubus's grasp.
For my freedom, I have only my own flesh and blood. Come, the maiden of lust lurks below.
Well then, show me the way. Or demons. Wouldn't it suck to be kind of born into just being the cast of demon that is just eternally doomed to being skinned alive for building materials?
I must wait longer.
I'm backing off of that. Because they've got all the frickin' lasers. There we go.
I can't carry anymore.
Seriously? Are we really getting that overburdened that quickly? She's got slightly better weapon.
A gift?
A little bit more damage from that one. But not seeing... Oh, that's going to be better boots. Okay, I think that's what we're going to go with.
My bags are full.
So let's go sell some crap. Ooh, rare ring. Better than our current rare ring. Blah, 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 blah. How is that higher damage? I mean, I'll take it. I don't see how that's higher damage. Okay, let's go with that in the ring then.
I need to go back.
We'll scrap most of this. Ooh. That could actually turn into something a little nicer. I'm gonna put stuff in those sockets. Let's see, armor doesn't actually have a listing on there, so we need intelligence. So we'll throw intelligence in there. Do a little bit of crafting first. I think it's her. Okay. And yeah, we'll put another one of these in there. There we go. Is that better? Yeah, that's definitely better. And what about the pants? Are those pants better? Nope. It doesn't look like we really get too much of a boost from any of the rest of this stuff, except for maybe the gloves. Yeah, nothing too much. Oh, now to just relax the rest of the way through the entire thing. Yep. And just dump off our junk. I do find it slightly irritating that we're filling up quite this fast, though. But I don't know if I should actually be still even picking everything up just to turn into crafting materials. Because, I mean, I can see why, because if I want to, like, do long-term crafting of anything, might be handy, but at the same time, should I really bother? Because I don't plan on doing any long-term crafting. I want to beat the story, and then we'll move on to the next game.
Your grave awaits!
Because while post-game stuff is cool, and I get why people like it, I personally don't. The endless grind destroys your soul. And there's so many good games to try besides this. Or in addition to this. If you love this game, good. I like it enough that it's actually a fun game to dip into. But there are so many games that have cool ideas and fun worlds to try that you can't just deny them all in favor of one that has become your life.
I've been looking forward to this.
Got another heart to destroy.
Why are you trying to hurt me? I fear I'm... Shh. I eat. Now you will see what I am capable of.
Will I see what you're capable of? You're almost dead.
I become more powerful.
And now we have Black Hole, which I kind of want to see. So we're going to put that in place of Magic Weapon because it's a freaking black hole. Who wouldn't want a freaking black hole? Cooldown on it's kind of crap, but...
Need more time. Done.
Now, my feeling about Diablo 4? I hope it's good. I think the game will be fine. And I'm not even really concerned about finding anything to dislike in the beta that's coming up, because frankly, I think I'll like the beta. I'm mostly concerned about the monetization and future bloat. Those are the two things. I haven't actually gotten to try it yet.
Not for long.
So I am not considered friends or family of the Blizzard crew. Otherwise, I would talk about it to the extent that whatever NDA they would give me would allow. But
I am so good.
I wasn't even invited to it, so I just continue on. Moving on up to the east side to a deluxe Hell in the Sky. Well, we're getting marquees now. Good. One thing I don't actually like about Diablo 3's itemization is how it's based on your level. That always felt weird to me. Because a lot of games will reward you for like going in and fighting things above you, but this one it's like, no. Moving on up. Always to the east. Because that is the only true answer.
Didn't see that coming, did you?
We're getting fairly decent gold drops now. Although, not that we need them. We're at almost like 17 million gold.
Still waiting.
Let's see. Get you with the... Oh, you moved away from it, you bastard. You can imprison me all you want. I will get by.
Not ready yet. Your grave awaits!
Diablo 3, try to do something new. It doesn't work. And hi, JB. How's it going?
After everything we have been through together, we are nearly done. Asmodan will die by our hands.
We should be. Yeah, we're at Osmodon. We're at the end of the act. I think this might be the shortest act for us so far. Because I think he spawns in here.
Nephilim, fool. When the soul stone is embedded in my flesh, the seven shall be as one within me. I will be the sum of all hells, the prime evil.
Yeah, but won't turning into the prime evil kind of interfere with his nipple rings? Ow, that's so hurt.
My servants will feast on your pride as they devour your flesh. Enough! The dark power of arrogant Nephilim. My servants will feast on your pride as they devour your... Enough! The dark power of hell. Arrogant
I think he was
Nephilim.
trying to say
My
something.
servants will feast on your pride as they devour your flesh.
I kept interrupting him by taking more life off of him.
Quickly now, Leah. Trap Asmodan's essence within the Soul Stone.
It's done.
I never dared dream. All evil lies trapped within that stone. Once it is destroyed, the eternal conflict will finally end.
Destroying the stone is no simple matter. There are rituals to consider. We must return to the keep and make our final preparations.
That spoiler I was talking about is about to happen. Give me all the crap on the ground. I'm going to disassemble it into something useful.
I need to go back.
Return to Bastion's Keep.
An incredible victory. I knew Asmodan could never stand up to the likes of you.
Where are Adria, Leah, and Tyrael?
They are all in the armory, no doubt celebrating. You should join them.
You don't say. Eternal cornflakes and... Well, Totally looks like they were celebrating here. That's some limbs. Somebody crapped themselves, I think.
Adria, when did you decide to betray us?
20 years ago, a great and terrible power drew me to Tristram. But Aiden, Leoric's eldest son, defeated that power and sought to contain it within his own flesh.
The Dark Wanderer.
It was Diablo I saw within him, and I pledged myself to his service. Now, at last, his grand design comes to fruition. Dear Leah, Deckard always suspected your true father was Diablo himself. And now, my daughter, you shall serve as his vessel.
I live. But I am more than I once was. The 7 evils are now one within me. I am the prime evil. Well done, faithful Adria. Go now, until I call upon you again. Now, at last, to my true goal, the one that has always eluded me. The utter destruction of the high heavens.
Well, there we go. Let's go ahead and end Act 3. We got Magic Confession. It's a confessional in a pocket.
Even in the heart of heaven, angels can still feel fear.
My old enemy. You cannot hide from me, no matter what form you choose to wear. Let your true self be revealed. Diablo. Imperious.
'Imperious.
That's Act 3.
Adria has betrayed us completely. And Leah's soul is lost. Through her, Diablo has been reborn as the prime evil. All the powers of hell are his to command. The high heavens tremble, and the angels are helpless before Diablo's assault. Only I remain to set things right. And rid the world of Diablo's evil forever.
Boom, boom, boom.
Heavens.
So we will grab the waypoint here, and that's going to be the end of Act 3. We'll deal with that stuff next time, most likely. So, if you guys enjoyed this, be sure to give it a like and all that fun jazz, because we are getting further along, and Imperius trying to fight the great evil, the one true evil, is kind of an odd thing. And Diablo 3, when it first came out, had good things and bad things, Vladimir. I agree with some of that, but not entirety. Rifts are worthless to me, but I understand why it appeals to other people, because it lets them play more often. But anyway, keep gaming, have fun, peace out, and I'll see you guys next time when we conquer Act 4. And not really end the game, because we still have more after that, too. So, keep gaming, have fun, peace out. This has been Alzorath. Bye.